All right, so you're about to watch a live seller call from Halloween where I was calling lead solo leads, and I'm going to show you how I made $30,000 in roughly 30 minutes worth of work. Okay. Now, this live seller call, it actually does not get closed on the call. Okay. I go back and forth with the seller. I make an offer. There was multiple other people that were interested in the property, and there was a walkthrough set for the next day with an investor that the seller had previously met prior to me even talking to him. So I had to overcome that objection during this call. However, what I am going to show you is the live seller call, how we end it, how I set up me following up with them, and then I will show you after the live seller call the text conversation that we have where I actually close the deal via text. And then I will also show you the signed assignment showing you how I'm making $30,000 on this deal. So there's a lot to unpack on this. And there's a lot of takeaways, but I think the most important thing is seeing how I navigate this conversation with the seller, knowing that my competition has already viewed the property and is coming back for a second walkthrough to make an offer, and how we still got the deal for less than what the original investor was offering. Enjoy.
This is Rance.
Hey, Rance, this is RJ Bates calling about your property there on Woods Drive. Looked like you had filled out a form on my website saying that you're looking to sell that property. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
Awesome. How much were you looking to get for it?
We redid the bathrooms. So it was my father's. He had dementia, so it had some water damage and stuff. So I'm looking around. I'd like to get around 450 for it, 450, 460 for it.
All right. So it's your father's property, or it's you're now taking care of it?
Well, he passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, and I don't live near it. My brother doesn't. My brother lives out of state, so we're just looking something to move it along.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's just right down the road from me. Actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're. I'm not sure if you're familiar with DFW or not, but we're over by Eagle Mountain Lake in Fort Worth. So it's probably about a 25 minute drive for us.
Oh, that's not too bad. Yeah, I'm not familiar. I mean, I grew up in Irving, and my parents moved to that house right when I graduated like high school. So I lived there a little bit, but I don't know where Eagle Mountain Lake is in Fort Worth. Not familiar with that area.
Yeah, it's just directly west of Keller. All right. So you said you repaired the water damage. Is it still need cosmetic updates?
So, well, we did the bathrooms. We had to get the bathrooms in working order. Bathrooms are they look in pretty good shape. The water damage was from his AC return unit, when the pan filled up and it leaked. I mean, the sheetrock, and it hit the sheetrock. It went over the kitchen, the sheetrock, the cabinets. Those have water damage. It's just, his last 6-7 years, he just couldn't take care of the house. So yeah, it's going to need some work to be honest with you, all around. But yeah, cabinets, the kitchen appliances and everything. It's just been sitting in it. He was in the hospital for about 8 months, so it's just kind of been sitting there. We haven't had a lot of time to mess with it. So I wouldn't say it's cosmetic. I mean, I don't think anything's structurally wrong with it. It just needs some love. It's been without love for a while, that's for sure.
Gotcha. Out of curiosity, how did you come up with the price of $450?
So I've had several investors with offers coming in around that range. So that's I mean, obviously we want the best we can, but that's been around the range that I've been receiving.
Why didn't you accept any of those offers?
just entertaining other offers is what I'm doing. Just entertaining to see what's out there. Because its location is very unique. It's on a dead end street. It's one of those where you say the neighborhood's going through like a renovation. People are tearing down homes and building new homes. There's a whole new home community directly behind it. They're $1 million homes, $1.9 million homes. So it's definitely in a unique up and coming location, but I think the location is probably the big selling point.
Right. So you say you want 450. If I were to say I'll give you 450, what keeps me from just being a part of the entertainment?
What keeps you? I mean,
you said you're entertaining them, so it's like I don't want to say that number, and then it's like, okay, well, let me go call 5 other people. I'm in the business of buying houses. That's how I feed my family. So it's like I just want to know if you guys are ready to make a decision, if that's something y'all want to do, or if this is just like, hey, we're gonna shop this around for a while.
So we're ready to make. Obviously, we're ready to make the decision. We've had about four look at it. I'm not having 20 people look at it. I started with a real estate agent who said, "Hey, let's list it. Right? We need to list it." And I'll get all kinds of people look. We had the neighbors, or all the neighbors have come by and looked at it. I had one come by today, and he's the one saying, "Hey, I'm going to do 450. Let me bring my wife out tomorrow." He wants to bring his wife out tomorrow to show them. He wants to actually renovate it so they can live out there, bring his family out there. So that's, I don't have like 20 or 30 investors coming in, and I've had 4.
Right.
You being the 4th one, so I thought I'd give it a try. So, and what does that entail, right? 450. If that's your offer, what is that? What are the expenses? What are the timelines? What does that look like? That's what I don't have from any of them. I've got offers, but I don't have, I didn't say, okay, what is that timeline? What is your cost? What's my cost? What is that going to look like to really close it out? And what's the timeline look like? So that's why I'm still entertaining offers.
Gotcha. So let me explain how we work, and then you can maybe have a better understanding of our process, and maybe that'll help you a little bit. Whatever offer that I made to you, that's cash. We cover the closing costs. There's no realtor commissions or anything like that. The only thing, is there a mortgage on the property, or is it free and clear?
It's free and clear.
So the only thing that you would pay is if there's a lien on the property for whatever reason, or prorated taxes on the property. Okay. So that would be the only thing that would come out on your end from my offer. So basically anything that you owe on the property comes out of the proceeds. Okay. And then timeline wise, that's one of the benefits with working with us is we actually work on your timeline. Now, obviously we have to pull title, get the title commitment back. Right. So the quickest this could probably move would be 3-4 weeks. Okay. But if you're like, hey, I want this as done as quickly as possible, then yeah, we're talking about sometime mid to late November we get this closed. Obviously, we have Thanksgiving that screws it up with people taking time off and not being in the office and whatnot, and that's just third party, title company stuff. That's not really an us problem or a you problem. That's just that's the reality of what we have to work with. We have a close relationship with the title company that we use here in Dallas Fort Worth. It's Fidelity National Title. So if your timeline is you want to move as quickly as possible, then that's what we're looking at is sometime in November.
Okay. No, that makes sense. Yeah. I was thinking about 3 weeks would be feasible, but yeah, makes sense.
Is that something that you guys would want to do, is move quickly as possible, or would you need more time for to clean the property up or something like that?
We've been working on it for about 6-7 months now. That's and it's me and my brother. So we've gone to probate core, we've got all that straightened out. But my brother and I that are taking care of, and he lives in Colorado. And we've been talking. Hey, he goes, I need to do a couple more truckloads of stuff. It's just, stuff that's in there. Tools. We moved everything in the garage and trying to clean it out. But yeah, we need a couple more weeks to, get rid of some stuff, clean some stuff. And what if we left stuff? Like, what if we left some tools or stuff? Some of the stuff's been just hard to get rid of, hard to move around.
Yeah, I don't mind you leaving a little bit, as long as it's within reason, right? I mean, if it's just, it doesn't have to be like swept clean. I mean, obviously, we're investors. We're going to come in and do work to the property, so we never expect that the property is going to be handed over to us in great condition to begin with. So anything that you do is beneficial. And obviously, leaving larger items is more of an issue than anything, like furniture or clothing, but like just small little miscellaneous stuff's not a big deal.
Yeah, we still have an old love seat. Because the trash is out in Keller. Trash is pretty good. We left the couch out there and they came picked it up. We've left a mattress out there and they came picked it up. So we've left a sofa in there just so we could sit down when we're working. But we've got a love seat in there, and then I'll have to look. I don't remember what else, but mainly it's been the toolboxes. We've got tons of tools that my father had. And we've tried giving away, selling them, and it's been hard to move. I can't keep everything, but I'll have to take a look. But yeah, within that time frame, we would spend some time. Yeah, we still have some time. Just letting you know, we have some time. It's a vacant property. We just have some of the things we need to finish cleaning up, like photo albums and pictures and stuff. We've got those boxed up. I need to take those out. So that's what we're looking at.
Gotcha. And then, so you're pretty much at the position right now where like you want to make a decision pretty quickly on who you're going to sell the property to.
Yeah, that's right. Because we're like I said, we can't be close to it. My father's been in the hospital for 8 months, and we've been talking about it and working on. I mean, me personally, because my brother, he's having to come around. He's different, but for me personally, I am, because it's closing out more stuff. He left his estate in a mess, and I'm trying to get everything closed out, get stuff out of his name. If the offer's pretty good, I can talk to my brother, and which I have been. We'd be able to move, pretty quickly on it.
All right. I think I'm pretty close to determining what I can do here.
There's a lockbox. One of the agents put a lockbox on it, so there's a key to it. It's a combo box. And like I said, the first agent we talked to, he's a neighbor, and we had a key out there, and he's like, "Oh, I'll just put a lockbox." Now I haven't signed anything with him. In fact, I told him, I said, I'm probably going to be looking at a different direction, because what he was offering and everything, he was one of our lowest offers. So, but there is if you need to get inside, there's a combo lock there. Obviously I have to lock it back up and put the key back in there.
The realtor that said that they wanted to list the property, what did they suggest listing it for in its current condition?
He was doing like $385 current condition.
Gotcha.
But and that's what weird. Another investor. So he showed me comps, which is hard. And then I talked to another investor, a local investor there, and he was showing me different comps, because you got to. The comps that they were pulling up for yours didn't really make sense, right? You can't pull a new comp. And he was like, "Oh, look at this $1.2 million home, and it's on, 2.4 acres." He showed me comps that several of them showed him that rehabs, right? He showed me a couple of rehabs that he did in June. Because these are more closer to what you want to comp it at. He goes, realtors sometimes they just pick, or they'll do like a 10-mile radius or something. But there was a couple within a mile or two, this guy said. So that's where this realtor, like, I didn't even understand his comps and what he was trying to do. I think he was, I don't know. I think he was just pulling a number. He didn't really know anything.
Well, I would assume if you had listed it at 385, the goal there would be to try to generate multiple offers and create somewhat of a bidding war, right? Is that kind of the thought process?
Well, and that's what he was saying. He goes, we can go nationwide with investors. We can get a lot of them. Like he wanted multiple investors. And then when I said, well, I would want to, I said, honestly, if I would list it, I'd list it at 450. He's like, okay, I'll write it. Let's list it, let's list it at 450. And I'm like, well, hang on. I don't want to write it up. I don't want a lot of people parading through there. We don't have some stuff secured in it. Like, it's like I said, sitting around.
Right.
Nothing of value, but we still have, like, there's some furniture there's a dresser that he wants to buy. Oh, I think she'd come and buy it. Never mind. That might be gone. But there was some stuff in there that people wanted. Some of our neighbors wanted to buy. The garage is full of, like, dishes. We pulled all the dishes out of the cabinets, and we were trying to sell those. So we need to box those up. So it's got some, it's a couple of days with a little bit.
Right.
My brother and I are going to meet up. I think we're going to try to be out there next week and meet up. And yeah, it's a long process. It's taken us a long time. I'm sure you hear that from folks. It takes a long time to get through everything.
Well, I'm currently experiencing it myself. I mean, my grandmother passed away and she owned 2 properties. And even though this is what I do for a living, I mean, it's completely different. I mean, we buy the properties once they're already, like, the belongings have been taken out of them, right? Or if we do buy it and they leave the belongings, it's just, okay, we're hauling it off. It's just trash, This is a completely different world when it's like you're going through it and there's certain family members that want, certain, family heirlooms and things like that, and the pictures and all of that stuff. So it just, I totally get it. It takes time. I do have a question. You said the neighbor came by and he offered 450. Was that cash or was that going to be like a finance loan?
No, it's a cash. He's a home builder.
Gotcha.
He's a local home builder. Well, I say neighbor. I think he lives he probably lives 5 miles away or something. He's not like a next door neighbor, but he called me this morning and he was like, he's asking the same questions you are. He's like, man, I started building a home for my family. He's got 3 boys, and he said, but I like this neighborhood better. He goes, I want a neighborhood where my boys can go outside and I just don't have to worry about them. Because, and I'm not getting it at the property I buy. He goes, I have to bring my wife over. And he called me like at 10:30. He goes, let me bring my wife over Friday because we were looking for this neighborhood. And I just told him the same thing. I'd like to get 450 for it, or the best we can. And he's like, well, I'll give you a call. But I found him through my brother works with his stepfather or something like that. It's one of those in the family. And
right.
And he came to the garage sale, but at the time he didn't talk about the house. And I just said, hey, we're interested in selling. So he's looking at it. So that's he's a builder. It would be a cash offer. That's my assumption. It's not listed on MLS. I really don't want to list it on MLS, and I don't want to hear. I just don't want to get that much work on it because that's a lot of effort when you list on MLS and stuff.
Right. So I'm thinking. I don't think I'm going to be able to get to 450. Okay. I think I'm going to be a little bit less than that. That's why I was asking. Because if it is like an owner-occupant situation, that makes sense as to why he would be willing to pay that, I think I can be fairly competitive and then just, allow you and your brother to then make a decision on, who you feel most comfortable and who you think is going to actually come through and get the deal done and on y'all's time frame. I do think I need to be probably closer to like 420.
Okay.
But like I said, that's a net number to you, right? The only thing that's coming out of the proceeds would be the prorated taxes and if there's any just liens on the property or anything like that.
Right. Okay, no, that's fair. I guess I filled out the phone or the form and inquired about it just to see. And it also makes it, you know, because it's hard, right? You hear different numbers. It also solidifies what really is. I mean, that's truly what is the market value, what we're looking at. So.
Yeah. So, I mean, from my perspective, what I'm seeing is that, and you've probably heard this already, but there's a house on Melissa Drive and there's a house on Treehouse Lane, similar year built, similar square footage. Both were rehabbed, sold at $625.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the one the other investor was telling me here's a 625 one. Yeah.
Right.
That's what he was.
So for us, we just reverse engineer from that and we say 625,000 is what the house could be worth if once we fix it up, and then it's just mathematical equation from that point. So we say 625. We've got the closing costs when we buy it, the closing costs when we sell it, the realtor commissions when we sell it, and the holding cost, and then minus our rehab, and then minus our profit. And that normally that's going to put us somewhere in the range of like 10% profit. So it gives us a little bit of margin of error, but not a significant amount. So it's like, right. I'm not trying to poke you in the eyeball or anything like that, but that 30,000 does move the needle pretty significantly. That's why I was asking, like, if this is another investor being, you know, the desire to be an owner occupant, yeah, that makes sense. You know, if I were looking to buy a house in Keller, I'd probably be a lot more aggressive and be like, well, I don't need to make profit. You know, I want to live in it, you know. From my perspective, this is, you know, we've got to protect ourselves. This is how we take care of our families. So
you're right, because that's what he's saying. He's like, I need to add like 1,000 square foot. I can math that. I mean, he's planning to, buy it and you know, fix it up for himself. Or that's what he was telling me. Well, you know, if he does it or not, it's a different story.
Right.
That's where the conversation was going on with him this morning, and that's why he had such an interest in it. So yeah, you're right. He is going to be a little bit more aggressive because he's got a lot more at stake for it. So okay.
I mean, I'll tell you this before you make a decision. I don't know what's your plan. Talk to your brother or meet with him on Friday. What's kind of your plan moving forward?
Right now is he's supposed to call me back. He's like you said, he's going to take his wife out there in the morning. They're going to discuss it. Because he's like, she would love this neighborhood. Dead end street. It's very, you know, everybody's on an acre lot. He likes the privacy and stuff. He wants to talk to her. She might come back and say, that's my fear. That's why I'm getting some other options. She might come back and say, well, no, I don't really like the towns. I don't like the whatever. I don't like the neighbor looking at me funny. I don't know. So that's what we kind of left. He's supposed to let me know in the morning. He's real interested, but obviously he has to let his wife, you know, get her buy-in. That's what we left it. So he's supposed to let me know tomorrow.
Gotcha. So how about this? Before you make a decision, this is my office phone number.
Is it 10-689?
8689. Yeah.
Okay. So it's not a cell number?
No, this is a landline to my office.
Okay. And your first name again was?
RJ Bates.
RJ Bates?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
You know, reach out to me because I will tell you, my partner has said we share an office. She's shaking her head at me and telling me I should have told you 450. Although I will say she loves Keller.
Oh yeah.
So
I flipped 2 homes here in Austin. I almost was going to do it, but it's just it would be hard for me to do it remotely. It would be, and then it would be definitely be a labor of love. So it's too far. It's too far for me to kind of manage and actually I like to get my hands dirty on stuff anyway. So it'd be too much. It'd be just too much for me going on. So
right.
My girlfriend's like, oh, I brought her up. She goes, I'd love to live down the street. Well, how long would it take you to like clean it up? It's like, well, it's going to take some time.
Right.
And then it's going to be expensive, right? We can, if you want to live in it, right, you're going to design it a lot differently. know anything about it, like it'd probably take me, 10 months or something if I wanted to do it myself. Because I do the same thing. I'd expand down on the back of the house and stuff. But,
well, I can tell you this as someone who has flipped multiple houses in Austin and San Antonio from Fort Worth. Trust your gut on this one. Don't do it. They didn't work out very well because yes, you're right. It's a hassle, man. And there's so many times that I just had to unnecessarily like drive down to San Antonio or Austin to check on the property, make sure that the contractors did what they said they were going to do.
the hardest part is relying like I have a framer. And I only lived. I lived in one house, and I bought the neighbor's house because the neighbor. It was on 4 acres. I loved it. It was on 4 acres. It had 2 houses out there, but they were kind of like my father. They really needed some love. You had to. I took them down to the studs, and I raised all the ceilings. I had 3 framers I had to get rid of because I'd be like, okay, they'd be like, okay, we're done with the framing. I go in, and one room didn't have a roof or a ceiling on it, and it. Well, what happened here? Oh, they forgot to do that. Like it's just little things like that that you're not paying attention, and the sheetrock guys would come in and leave a big hole. So I just can't do that. It spent a lot of time messing with it. Or I'd have to hire the neighbor to be hands on. I don't know. I'm having second thoughts about it because it killed me. I did it. It took me 18 months, and I was there every weekend. I was doing it every while working a full-time job, but I was only 2 streets down, so it was nice. But
right.
I wouldn't do it again if there's distance because you're there all the time, and nothing like saying, "Hey, we need supplies." I'm writing them a check, and then come find out they didn't buy the supplies, and they have to find the supplies and try to get the money back. Sometimes it's a hassle working with some of those guys. I didn't really know.
Yeah, I mean, I will say everything that you just said, I have lived time and time again. It's tough stuff, man. Man, I don't know. I feel like I wish there was a way. You seem awesome. You seem like someone that I'd love to be able to do a deal with. But I also know your position where you're like, man, I just met someone or talked to someone today that said a higher number.
Yeah, like I said, I'll text him tomorrow. I'll let you know. Like I said, his wife might come back and say, I don't like the place at all. But he said whether it's for me or he wanted it also to. He builds big homes. They're taking a while to sell, so he's looking for something that he could turn around and flip quickly. But I will, if I hear from him, I'll just let you know what he said, and then we can go from there. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely let me know one way or another because if it ends up being one of those things where, we're a couple of $1,000s off or something like that, I don't want to miss out on the opportunity just because of that. So, yeah, let me know tomorrow. And if I don't hear from you, I'll probably give you a shout in the afternoon and just see where we're at and see if we can figure something out. Okay.
Yeah, the neighborhood is difficult. The neighborhood is what everybody loves. The neighborhood.
Oh yeah, I mean I've done a deal on Spanish Trail, just like a quarter mile to the east of this property. I've owned actually my first ever house was just down the road in Summerfields, so in the Keller School District. So.
Oh yeah, Summerfield. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I just down the road.
Yeah, that was my first ever home, man. I worked 8 years at Pizza Hut, and I became a general manager. And guy from corporate came in and said, "You're nothing but an overglorified shift manager. We should have never promoted you." And I quit on the spot, cashed in my 401k, and went and bought a house. And my family thought I was going through a midlife crisis at like 27. And it was the best decision I ever made because it was my first real estate deal. And now here I am. For the past decade, I've been doing real estate investing. And it's what I love. So, yeah, man, I've got a soft spot in my heart for this. Like I said, my partner's sitting over here. She's shaking her head. She's telling me I should just tell you 450 and tell the other guy to go kick rocks. But I don't know, man. I don't want to put you in a tough spot with that guy either. I'm sure you had a good conversation with him. And it sounds like, you kind of want to respect that conversation. So I don't want to impose too much on that.
Like my brother works with his stepfather.
Yeah.
And he came over, like we were having a garage sale. He came over and the guy was really checking out the house. I mean, you're right. I don't want to do that. But like I said, he could come back and say, hey, my wife hates it, and I'll definitely call you back and see where we go from there. But like I said, I just was trying to see another, because he wasn't definitely saying, hey, he did say, hey, I want it. I just want to see what her input is, which is the right thing to do when you're married, right?
Yeah.
Everybody agrees. That's where we kind of left it. So he threw a number out there, but he said, let me get my wife to look at it. How quickly you're looking, and then told him the same story. That will appease my brother, because my brother's like, hey, talk to him. My brother's not very talkative. And you talk to him and figure it out. So I'm appeasing my brother, just talking to that guy. And I had another investor that I was saying, they're all saying the same thing. Hey, before you pull the trigger, let us know.
Right.
I mean, I'm not having bidding war. It's just, I'm trying to get it. I'm just trying to make sure I do the best decisions. My brother's relying on me and he's going to do it. I'll tell him. It's just, I need to say, hey, these offers, and here's where it was. This is what, it's like anything else. I have to kind of push him along. And this is what we're doing. But he said he wants some more time, I think next week, to clean some stuff out. So whatever we're doing, we're going to need time to clean stuff out. We have a truck. There's a truck sitting in the garage. I'm going Monday to get the truck and tie it to my name to see if I can start moving that truck out of there. There's some stuff we've got. There's some still work we're going to do, but I wanted to get the ball rolling on this. But yeah, it would take a couple weeks to get it taken care of. So I do appreciate your time. If you don't hear from me tomorrow morning, reach out to the number you see there, your cell phone.
All right, Rance. Well, I appreciate your time, man. And I would say you can rest easy on this Halloween, because it sounds like one way or another the property's going to be sold. So,
yeah.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate your time, and we'll talk tomorrow, okay?
Sounds good.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, that was a very unique conversation because of the situation there with the brothers, cousin, co-worker, whatever it was. Normally, I would be more aggressive, but I feel like that would have just hindered our chances of being able to get the deal.
Yeah, I felt like you made the right moves there.
All right, so there was the live seller call. Friday comes. I call the seller. No answer. I leave a voicemail. I don't get any call back. Now, going through the weekend, we always, no matter how many reps, no matter how many sellers we talk to, we start making up these imaginary stories in our mind as to, oh, he must have accepted that offer, even though I said, hey, no matter what, call me back. He said, I will. There must have been something that I did wrong. And I started thinking about it. Man, what could I have done better during that call? So come Monday, I called the seller, leave him another voicemail. Funny enough, I was on a very important Zoom call that I could not take the call, and he called back. So as soon as I got done with that Zoom call, I called him. No answer. So at this point, I know that he's still interested because he called back, at least to give me some finality to this, right? So I sent him a text message, and that's where the deal actually got closed. So let me bring this up for you guys. You see right here, hey, Rance, this is RJ's cell phone. Sorry, on a call at the moment. No worries. Did the other buyer come through, or do I get to send you a contract? Automatically just assuming the close there. No, he did not come through. I was just speaking with him. So the reason why he didn't answer the phone on Friday and he waited until Monday is because of our competition. Had nothing to do with us at all. He wanted us to hold it, and then he'll come in and remodel it and then flip it, and then we split the profits, a.k.a. do a novation. Just didn't sound like something I was interested in doing, but yeah, if you're still willing to purchase it, we're open. I'm good at the $420,000, what I offered him on the phone. Could you go for 450? I can't get to 450. The highest I would be able to go is 430. I had to check with my brother. He was okay with 450. Let me see if I can get a hold of him. So that was at 12:46 p.m. At 2:01. What about 440? I doubled down. I cannot go higher than 430. An hour and a half later. Okay, I understand. That gives me really zero indication as to where we are in regards to this. So I just asked, how would you like to proceed? He says, 1 sec. I'm talking to my brother. 435,000 and we will do it. Come on, take a chance. That is the highest offer that I have from another investor. And then he sends me a screenshot of him saying, trying to convince him to come down a little bit. I think he'll do 440. He says I can take a shot at 435. And yes, here's a screenshot of the text message. My brother's still not happy at anything less than 450, so it's been a struggle to try to convince him. I'd rather work with you because I think you can close faster, but this is one of the original investors who reached out to me early on. Okay, I'll do the 435. Who's officially on title? Both you and your brother. Yes, awesome. And then over here, as you can see, November 12th, we assigned the property all the way down here at the bottom for 465, as you can see in the red. I hope you can see that. I put it in the red down there at the bottom for 465. And so that is how we made $30,000 in roughly 30 minutes worth of work. Here's the thing that I want you guys to take away from this. You're always going to have the objection of other investors, other offers, and you really have two ways to navigate it. You could do one, which is what I did on this one, which is understand the seller's position and say, hey, go out, have that meeting, and trust that your competition sucks. This other investor wanted to do a novation, and he did not truly understand this seller's motivation. The seller did not want to do that. This seller had done flips. He knows how to do flips. He also knows how difficult doing a flip can be. So doing a novation from distance and trusting this other investor to come in and remodel the property and all of that was not something he was willing to do. So he did not understand this seller's motivation. And because of that, we were able to get this deal. The other way that you can navigate it is be firm and not allow your offer to be shopped and leveraged against you, and kind of pull away and see if the motivation will then chase after you. On this, I listened and I made the right decision. And because of that, we are able to make $30,000 in 30 minutes. Let me know what you guys think. Give me a like on this. Come on, baby. That's some cool shit. We'll see you guys tomorrow.